Back during the 2020 racial justice and criminal justice protests that were going on, there was a wave of police violence and brutality against protesters. We saw this in Texas as well. And now here comes Republican Governor Greg Abbott to say those cops that have been identified for committing acts of police brutality in Austin, no, they're actually great. And you know what? Maybe there shouldn't be any consequences whatsoever for them. He said just yesterday that the indictment of 19 Austin police officers on assault charges stemming from those protests back in May of 2020 are wrong. And he dangled the possibility of potential pardons for them, going way out of his way to protect them from consequences which we know from long experience are very rare when it comes to cops committing acts of violence like this. They shot and injured one woman back during those protests. I mean, this is as bad effectively as it gets in this anti-protest violence. And so, by the way, one of them who we will focus more on in a little bit is a Texas House candidate now, Justin Barry. He was one of those police officers attacking protesters just a couple of years ago. Anyway, Jeff, what do you think? Pardons for cops? I mean, it's certainly precedented. Trump would talk this same way about cops using violence against protesters just a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's really par for the course at this point. Of course, they're going to defend police, only of course when they crack Black Lives Matter protesters' skulls. When it comes to January 6th rioters, then that's when the cops are bad. Mm-hmm. That's when they actually hoist up their ACAB flag, ironically. Mm-hmm. But generally, no, it really matters to them who the cops go after. And any protests against racial justice, any protests against pipelines or big corporations, banks, the right wing is always going to support cops cracking heads because they are authoritarians at heart. As I said earlier today, oppress me harder, daddy. That is, the tagline for the Republican Party, and not just oppress me, but oppress everyone else. That doesn't
exactly. Yeah. Oh, but by the way, when you get into the power structure on the Republican side, not a fan of any sort of consequences. Clearly, we'll have a story a little bit later on the show about that. But no, if it's putting down a left-wing protest, that's what they're there for. Right-wing protests, obviously hands off and everything. I believe in consistency. Don't needlessly attack protesters of any variety, but they've been able to draw a little bit more fine lines there. Anyway, each officer currently faces 2 counts of aggravated assault, a first-degree felony when committed by a law enforcement officer, punishable by up to 99 years in prison or a fine of up to $10,000. Abbott says those officers should be praised for their efforts, not prosecuted. Time will tell whether the accusations against the courageous Austin police officers is a political sham. Oh, he's not weighing in at all now, though. Time will also tell whether I, as governor, must take action to exonerate any police officer unjustly persecuted. Unjustly persecuted means that you are one of the 1%, 0.1% of cops that face anything like consequences for your actions. If you're one of those who slips through the cracks of the incredibly protective shield that stops justice from coming for law enforcement officers, then you've been prosecuted and you will be protected by Greg Abbott. That's what he's saying to us. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.